Hello, my name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and today I am sitting in the corner of my bedroom. It is comfy, cozy vibes on this Saturday at 1 p.m., right? And today we're going to be talking about dating shows. We're going to be discussing dating shows, okay? I know that I've already done a commentary slash sketch-based video on this topic.
But could I steal him for a second?
Okay.
That was easy.
We were wrestling. Do you normally need a condom for a wrestling match?
I'm not a professional, so.
But I thought, why don't we approach it today from a little bit of a different angle? I personally think that there's a lot of things to look at when we talk about dating shows, right? I mean, there's so many of them and lots of them have tons and tons of seasons. So obviously this is, a method of dating that is, here to stay, at least for the near future, right? So I thought, why don't we take out this topic, soak it in formaldehyde, slap it onto the laboratory table, and dissect. I mean, dating can be hard enough to do in private. I'm surprised at how many people want to take that experience, put it into the hands of editors, and then project it onto the Jumbotron. But a lot of people do. And a lot of people do. So today, honestly, guys, I'm trying something new. This is going to be a sit-down, yappy type video with a little bit more structure, but not so much structure that it's like the commentary sketch stuff. So I'm just, you know what? I'm dipping all 10 of my toes into 10 different pools. I'm really flexible. What can I say? So what we are going to be doing today, I am going to be ranking these different dating shows on the basis of how they would make me feel during the participation of it, right? So these are basically ranging from like, I'm having fun, like this could maybe be a good time, to I am going to do something monstrous that will harm myself and or others. So the dating shows that I'm going to be talking about today are The Bachelor, Too Hot to Handle, Singles Inferno, The Ultimatum, and Love is Blind. So we got a pretty nice spread there, right? And then I made a tier system to showcase how I would feel during each reality show with the following categories. Okay, so here's the first tier, right? This is like, we're starting off good. Guys, I really needed this. So this tier is basically going to be like, this is the best tier, right? It's like, you know what? I'm actually happy to be here. I feel like this might be actually even good for my well-being. I'm having fun. The second tier is, did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely.
I want to know. I don't want to hear people trying to get me kicked off. I can't even eat.
I thought the chicken was lovely. How was your chicken?
Right? So this is like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm thinking that we can maybe curate a good vibe if we all put a little bit of effort in. Maybe we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and everything might be okay. I'm like, still I could maybe have a good time. Did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. Then the third tier. Though I am having moments of genuine laughter, comfort, and connection, overall I'm constantly, even while smiling, pushing back a feeling of being unlovable and disgusting.
My haters will be glad to know that though I am having moments of genuine laughter, comfort, and connection, overall I'm constantly, even while smiling, pushing back a feeling of being unlovable and disgusting.
So this is like, okay, even though there are good moments, because sure, everything has a good moment, right? I'm sure even soldiers in war share a laugh sometimes. That's a terrible, terrible comparison. I'm still feeling sad. I'm a bit insecure. There's this certain level of despair that I simply cannot suppress even through the good times, right? Next here. That's delicioso. Get the fuck out of my face.
That's delicioso. The fuck out of my face.
So basically what this is going to be is like, okay, we were having fun, but now I'm getting pissed. I am not really having fun anymore. I'm getting towards a little bit towards my wit's end. At this point, I might have to do something that I never do, okay, which is get confrontational. The last tier is, I am going to start the apocalypse myself. And that's not really referencing any sort of video or anything. That's just me making a statement. The prior tier, I was approaching my wit's end. And now, baby, we're there. You have arrived at your wit's end, right? We're there, and I'm going to start the apocalypse myself. I would rather feel nothing than have to endure what is going on right now. Now that we have the science out of the way, I just want to forewarn you guys, I'm going to seem like an ill-informed hater during this video, right? I don't claim to be like a total expert on dating shows and this or that. This is just supposed to be like sleepover talk, okay? We're gonna have a gab and a giggle, all right? And I have nothing against people who go on dating shows. Hey, listen, there's a lot worse things you could be doing. You know, I wish you a lot of Instagram followers and maybe even love. That seems to be the secondary thing. The first show that we will be discussing is The Bachelor. The Bachelor, right? If you aren't familiar with The Bachelor, basically it's like the most accepted and widely distributed form of diet polygamy. A bunch of men or women compete to become the fiance of a certain suitor or suitress, right? And, you know, this all happens within a 2-month span, which is, of course, enough time to know if you want to get engaged to someone. Now, I don't, like, religiously watch a lot of the shows that I mentioned earlier. I think the only ones that I have seen a lot of are The Bachelor and Singles Inferno, right? But I was into The Bachelor. Like, I would watch it with my friends and stuff, and I was even watching Bachelor in Paradise. Okay? That's how you know that you are in it.
Sorry guys, we've recently been, addicted into Bachelor Nation because Jen was the first Asian American. So we said, oh baby, we have to tune in. Sure, we have to tune in. Yeah, we have to support. And I'm supporting her even more now because that, no offense, Goblin Man did what he did.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was locked in to Joey's season. Tell me why I was crying at the finale. Huh? I never thought that I would have been so emotionally moved by The Bachelor. But there I was, you know, sitting there with my friend being like, this isn't what sisterhood is all about. But yeah, I mean, me and my friends, or me and my mom when I used to live at home, like during high school and stuff, we were the totalitarian dictators of Bachelor Nation. So on the tier system, I would say that I would rate this. Did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. And there are several reasons for this, right? I think the first and perhaps most prominent reason, competing for a man is humiliating. I wouldn't do it even if I was straight. I don't do it for women and I'm a lesbian. I think an environment where the whole purpose is to just compete for a man's attention on the Jumbotron, I'm sorry, I would not be able to take that seriously. I would not be able to, at any point, lock in. Especially on the first episode, right, where everyone is trying to get that first impression rose. They are clawing and biting at the teeth. I don't know. The point is, they really want that first impression rose bad, where it's like women are coming in, introducing themselves, riding on a fucking ostrich, or, you know, hopping out of a clown car and doing a somersault in high heels for a man they don't even know. You know, I think for me, it's like the most I could offer is a hi, hello, how are you? And maybe in a way, that would be sort of like me sticking out, because it's like, it's almost like that meme of like when a girl is reading a book at a concert so that like the lead singer will notice her and be like, oh, she's different. They're doing like what, all these things, baking him a whole brick oven pizza, whatever. And I just come up and I'm like, hi, how are you? I'll see you in there. Bye. Maybe he'd remember me more. And with just, you know, the competitive nature of the show, right? I'm not competitive. I think a lot of people on the show, right, the guys and the girls are sometimes very, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get what's mine. A stranger that I barely know, right? And I think for me, it's like, okay, well, maybe you're not here to make friends, but maybe I am, right? I'm sorry, girls, ladies, we are going to be spending more time together than we are with our quote unquote future husband or future fiancé, right? So it's like, damn, like you guys don't want to have a kiki like at all. I feel like I would have an okay time like conversing with the rest of the women, getting to know the rest of the women, of course in a platonic way, not in a predatory lesbian way. Okay, it's not like I'm walking in there like, you know, fucking, you know, like I'm a lioness entering a field of gazelles, right? of course, that's not what I would be doing because in this universe, I am heady, heady, het. Yeah, I don't know. I think that when all of the women are kind of like having this energy of like, can I steal him? Can I steal him for a second? Can I steal him? Like, I have to be proactive. I want to steal him, right? I'm not a kleptomaniac. I think this is the issue, right? I would have this attitude of like, and this is why obviously I could just never be on the show, an attitude of like, oh, well, if he wanted to talk to me, then like he could, like, yeah, like he could do that then. But that's not what the show is, right? So, and in continuation with the idea of competing for a man, right? The group dates. Oh, honey. No. On The Bachelor, basically, if you don't pique his interest enough, you don't get guaranteed one-on-one time with him, right? In like a date sense, where it's like you spend multiple hours together uninterrupted without some blonde woman named Kelsey, you know, banging on the door being, can I steal him for a minute? Can I steal him for a minute? Right? So if you don't get the one-on-one date, you get slotted to be on a group date, right? Which is, honestly, it's basically like a polygamy field trip is what it is. It's basically like you're waiting in line for the Ferris wheel at the fucking county fair, right? It's like you're waiting for your turn, basically, to talk to him. The energy of these dates are just so like, it reminds me of almost how the paparazzi act towards celebrities, where it's like, oh, Brad, can you give me a smile? Brad, can you look over here? Brad, please pay attention to me, Brad. You know, where it's like, this is just, there is a certain, and of course this can't be helped just because of the nature of the date. There is an aura, perhaps even a stench of desperation. And, you know, obviously it's hard for The Bachelor too. I would never want to be in his position. I think as an introvert, I would have to periodically throughout the date be like, ladies, I have to step away, right? Like, to have everyone vying for your attention is like, I just couldn't do it. So I do feel for The Bachelor too. Obviously, they are The Bachelor, so I'm sure they like the attention. Yeah, and another thing about group dates, like, it's a date, right? So he's going to be flirting and, you know, being cutesy, lovey-dovey, handsy with all of these other women, right? So it's like, I don't want to have to look to my left and see my quote-unquote future fiancé giving a tonsil exam to another woman with his freaking tongue, and then I'm just supposed to, like, take him seriously after that? Huh? It's like, you know, I finally get my 10 minutes with him, and he's like, you know, you have a lot of the qualities that I look for in a wife and mother, and I really could see, like, the potential of something blooming here. And then we share, you know, a sweet, you know, a chaste but yet still passionate kiss that leaves both of us wanting more, right? And then literally 30 seconds later, he's gripping on another woman's waist, squeezing her like she's a fucking Go-Gurt. Like, I think I'd be sick. I'd be sick if I actually liked this man and then I see him. There was in one of the more recent episodes of The Bachelor where they were on a group date where it was like a stand-up, a freestyle rap, right? And the girl who won straddled him. And obviously The Bachelor is also allowing this to happen because, like, it is a date, I guess. A girl straddled him, was making out with him, and he was gripping on her buns like he worked at fucking Wendy's, right? Or Arby's, someplace that sells hamburgers, of course. And I was like, if I were one of the other women, like, I would literally be like, I have to, does a production assistant, can a PI get me horse blinders? Can a PI get me horse blinders? I wouldn't be able to be like, yeah, that's my man after that. You know, that's my future hub. With all of that being said, the group dates look fun. Like, some of the group dates where it's like they're painting or they're playing a sport or something like that, like, it honestly seems fun. And I think that maybe because I wouldn't be able to take him seriously anyway, like, I'd be able to have fun because I would just be like, this is not my husband. Like, this is my bro now, right? And we can just all play flag football in our mid-20s, and that's, like, so amazing. Another thing that would make me slightly uncomfortable, but it's still doable, trauma dumping hard as fuck on the first date. Hey, I'm no stranger to that. I mean, you know, you think about the whole process of like, not just this dating show, but all dating shows, they're usually very abnormal and expedited, right? It's like, even if you make it on The Bachelor, like to the final, like 3 or final 2, whatever, like you're bringing this person home to meet your family and shit like that. It's like, at the end of the day, though, you have maybe spent less than a week total with this person and you're about to get engaged to them, right? Because if you think about it, like I said earlier, most of the duration of the show, you're spending time with the other women. You're not actually with your quote unquote boyfriend, right? So you have to speed things along, right? Like the trauma reveals, things that you would normally maybe save for the 3rd or 4th date, it's like, no, I'm introducing myself this way now. The moment you sit down to have that one-on-one dinner with him, it's like the first thing that comes out of your mouth better be, from ages 7 to 14, my foster parents made me sleep on wet newspaper outside. You know, when he says, so tell me about yourself, really what the producers want you to do is explain why you have a prescription for Lexapro. It really is something because I can't say for like every single season of The Bachelor because I haven't seen every single season, but I know for especially Joey's season, I was like, I almost felt bad for him because I was like, every single date that you have, each woman is telling you like their biggest hardship. I just can't imagine every single night going on a different date with a different woman and then each one is like, yeah, you know, I almost got my leg amputated because my stepfather slammed my knee into a car door after he caught me texting a boy or something like that. And then the very next night, someone is like, yeah, I almost had my life flash before my eyes because I was, eating dry rub chicken wings and a bone got caught in my throat. And no one in my family even bothered to try and give me the Heimlich because they didn't love me enough. Sorry, I don't know. I'm literally just making these things up. But the other thing that makes this sort of dynamic funny and this sort of like, I don't want to say tradition, but like motif, I guess, on The Bachelor, where it's like people just like trauma dumping hard as fuck on the first date. Sometimes you can tell when someone maybe didn't have something super, super traumatic to them to bring up, right? Anytime someone had like a death in the family or anytime someone had a medical problem, like that is going to be brought up. But if you don't have any of those serious things, then sometimes it's just, you know, they say something like, yeah, like growing up, I felt really insecure. Right? And it's like, well, yeah. Florals for spring, you know, not entirely groundbreaking. But yeah, me personally, me watching someone I'm interested in kiss and be, you know, making out with another person in front of me, it's going to give me the Icatron 3000, right? You know, you're flying too close to the sun because you're giving me Icarus, right? You're giving me the Icarus. Hey, that was pretty smart of me, I think. Anyways, that joke, I mean. But I still think that I could manage and have a good time, right? So The Bachelor goes to... Did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. Next up, Too Hot to Handle. And now this is really something. This is really something. If you aren't familiar with the show, basically you put a bunch of sex-crazed narcissists in the same house and see how weak-willed they are. You know, you take these people and then you see which voice is louder, the voice in their head or the voice in their loins. And let's just say that oftentimes the voice in their loins has a bullhorn. These people are horn to the utmost degree, right? You could put these people in a Catholic church that is decorated with nothing but holographic photos of their grandmothers, and they would still have sex there. So basically on the show, there is a communal bank of money, right? That at the end, you know, people can split it or it can go to the person who has like the best, like demonstrated the most growth or whatever. Basically, there's money available that could be available to everyone potentially, right? But if you do something sexual, then money is deducted from that total bank, right? And the goal of the show, all in all, is like to help these nymphomaniacs basically calm down and like have a real actual deep connection that like goes beyond the superficial or beyond the sinful pleasures of the flesh, right? And here's the thing, I am a proponent for the sinful pleasures of the flesh. Sometimes a sinful pleasure of the flesh is what gets you through the day. So my ranking, before we completely get into it, this one is going to be delicioso. Get the fuck out of my face. And let me explain why. I won't lie. I think, yes, doing this show might be difficult for anyone with a high sex drive, but here's the thing. Put it in park, bitch. You all better keep your hands and, quite frankly, mouths, right, where I can see them, because I don't want to have to lose thousands of dollars because you have less self-control than an unneutered chihuahua. I think what gets me is like when people keep doing stuff after the first like deduction of money, or calculating things in such a way where it's like, well, Betsy gave Jack a hand job, and so we're probably going to lose like $7,000 for that. So if we just French kiss, what's another 3,000 on top of it? You know, like sort of calculating, which, listen, I'm a logical person, like I understand, but how about we just not lose 10K in total? I think that would be pretty ideal, right? And sure, you know, it doesn't help that obviously they're on a beach and everyone's very fit and everyone is like freaking half naked or almost completely naked, you know, 78% naked, pretty much 100% of the time. But me, personally, if I'm on that show, I'm going full Amish. I'm covering myself head to toe. I'm slut shaming everyone around me. No, I'm not saying that the Amish slut shame. I mean, maybe they do, but people who are not Amish slut shame too. I would literally be like, you would see the fastest asexual transformation you have ever seen in your whole life. I'm a pretty sex positive person, right? However, on that show, I would become sex negative. I would walk around with a Bible, spritzing holy water on everyone and saying, all of you disgusting sluts, all of you disgusting sluts here just here to satisfy your flesh. And, well, of course, I'm sure I would get kicked off. However, what I will say about the show, and something I do like about the show, they are holding people accountable. Like, you cannot get away with shit on this show, right? Basically, they have this automated creature called Lana. Sorry for calling you a creature, but they have this automated thing called Lana, which is basically like Alexa if she were programmed to be a cockblock. There are literally cameras everywhere. Like, you actually have no privacy. And these cameras also have night vision and stuff too. So it's like, you could literally take a shit in the dark and Lana knows the circumference of it. And no matter how sneaky you are, no matter how discreet you are, but we were under the covers and I was barely even moving my wrist. Doesn't matter. And then the best part of all, Lana literally puts your head in the guillotine and says, there was a breach last night. And then everyone is around in a circle and they're like, what the fuck? Like, who? And they're pissed. They're like, we already have lost $50,000. Are you freaking serious? Like, these people are so selfish. And then Lana literally airs out your shit, being like, yeah, you guys are losing $15,000 because someone got a 3-finger combo last night minus the Raising Cane's. Like, let's just say that shit didn't come with fries and a soda. But you know what it did come with? A lot of disappointment. And you know what it did come with? Not even that. I'm sure some of these people are not even finishing. I mean, honestly, Lana, listen, girl, I hate AI. As someone who works in the creative industry, trust and believe I want your kind destroyed. But I do love you. I do love you, Lana. Oh, God, she's such a narc. You know, but in this context, I do have to respect it. I mean, she's the queen of putting people on blast. It's absolutely incredible. And, you know, I think that I think me on any reality TV show that has to do with dating, I do feel like I'd come off as a bitch. I think I would come off as, or not even a bitch, maybe just like judgmental, which is why obviously I would never be on one. You want to hear a fun fact, actually? Before I was having there was like a party with a bunch of my coworkers, right? And I got voted most likely to be on a reality TV show. I remember when they called my name, I said, huh? Because no, I wouldn't. And then that's when I realized, I don't think you guys know me for who I truly am, because if you truly knew me, you know that I would never do this. I think that I would have the self-control to not lose any money. I think, right? Especially if for some reason, like, I'm on Too Hot to Handle, this is literally me putting myself on the Jumbotron, being like, I would never do this, right? Imagine me putting this out there, and then a year or two later, I'm on Too Hot to Handle, and then I'm responsible for like $50,000 worth loss. And also, I'm sorry, I was celibate for 3 years for free, right? I mean, you people need to get a control of yourself, right? So with all of that being said, Too Hot to Handle goes to... that's delicioso. Get the fuck out of my face. Up next, Singles Inferno. Singles Inferno. Okay, so this is a Korean dating show, and I find it very, very interesting because it's like Korean culture, and I guess East Asian culture in general is very modest. So having this in combination with people who have never been rejected in their life and believe that their face is the answer to world peace, it's just a very interesting thing to watch. And especially during the first episode where everyone, sorry, I'm sitting up like really straight, I'm kind of gonna go back here. Especially in the first episode where people are, first introducing themselves and stuff like that, and all of their introductions are basically like, hi, my name is like da-da-da, and I know pretty privilege is real because I have it. Right? There was this one guy on this past season, Taehwan, I think. I forget, but I think it was him who, his introduction, he was literally like, when people see my face, it puts them at ease, and when I look in the mirror, I could even get sucked into my own eyes, and I could just stare at my reflection for hours.
싸우다가도 얼굴 보고 화가 풀리는 경우가 많이 있었어가지고, 그리고 거울을 보면 제가 제 눈에 빨려 들어갈 것 같은 느낌이 한 번씩.
It's like so many introductions. Like some of them are a little bit more like, down to earth, and it's like, okay, obviously you're attractive, but like you're kicking around a soccer ball or something, and like you obviously like have hobbies even if they're staged, right? But some people are like, every time I leave the house, at least 10 men approach me, and I have to deny them all because they're not my style. And it's like, or I have never been rejected from a club. If anything, they seek me out to come in so that I can make the place seem more expensive because of my face. But anyways, this is a pretty standard dating show. It's like, yeah, like a bunch of hot people on some sort of like island, and new people come in and there's challenges and like whatnot. But the thing that's funny about this show is that, so there's like an Inferno part, and then there is the Paradise part, right? And you go to Paradise if you match with someone, or you get matched with somebody, and that's where you go to like have a proper date and like get to know each other and see if you can like have a connection or deepen the connection that you already have, right? And then Inferno is supposed to be like this hellish place where you are and you're like suffering because you didn't get chosen or whatever. And I think it's funny that the Inferno is literally somewhere I would go like to vacation. It's like, baby, you're glamping, This is not Inferno. This is glamping, right? I mean, I'm sorry. If hell is on a beach with like gazebos and a full kitchen and air-conditioned bedrooms and stuff like that, it's like, baby, I'm being blasphemous on purpose so that I can get a one-way ticket there. So honestly, for me, I am ranking Singles Inferno. Guys, I really needed this. Guys, I really needed this, because while a lot of reality dating TV shows have this sort of aura of like, I'm here to get my man and nothing can stand in my way. If there is, a little girl, innocent girl with a lollipop standing in front of my man, I'm taking her by the pigtails, swinging her Matilda style, and chucking her into the next state over, because nothing is getting in the way of me and my man. But on Singles Inferno, it's like, I think people kind of are there. They're not there to make friends, but it's the environment for some reason. Like, it's way more like friendly, because it's like, you don't have your phone in these situations. I don't think any of these dating shows allow people to have their phones. So it's like, we literally have shit else to do but hang out. I think that people there, they are making friends. They're making friends, guys. They're literally making chingu. They're making chingu, right? So I'm like, yeah, I would love that. I would love to make chingu. I think I could really enjoy this experience, right? I mean, you're basically telling me what I get to go on vacation, and like, sure, I might be like contractually obligated to like flirt with people, but people do that all the time without a contract. Or people even do it, you know, under different contracts, like the contract of marriage, and they still flirt with other people, right? It's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely something that I can do. What I will say, though, right, is that for me personally, I would need to do skin bleaching, jaw shaving surgery, and double eyelash surgery, and probably other surgeries that I've never even heard of before. Or just be okay with not being chosen, right? And the latter is much less expensive and perhaps just as invasive, but in a different way, right? And this is not me trying to like be down on myself or whatever. Like, guys, I think that I'm pretty, right? God forbid. Whoa, a woman thinks she's pretty. Call the fucking cops. But, you know, I don't think I'm a bad looking person. It's just that I am not serving in the way that Korean beauty standards need me to serve. But I am okay with that, right? I embrace that, okay? It's like, it's easier to embrace it when you're on the beach making friends, right? And I think, who knows, maybe I could be one of those people where it's like, oh, she's so underrated, and like, you know, oh, why isn't anyone picking her? And I can make up for it in personality or something. And then, you know, you get those TikTok edits of you that are like, well, why isn't anyone paying attention to her? Like, if I were there, like, I would be picking her, and da da da. And then all of the comments are like glazing you hard as fuck, like you're working at Krispy Kreme and you're a donut. Like, honestly, maybe that could be my trajectory, right? Where it's like, I get to go viral because no one wants to fuck me. Right? Or in this case, this show really is not even about having sex, like, in the slightest. It's more like, you know, because no one wanted to sit in my vicinity for an extended period of time and like have lingering eye contact with me, or because no one wanted to refill my rice bowl after I said 3 times that this soup is kind of salty. Oh, also, I would speak fluent Korean in this hypothetical, of course. But also on the show, right, when they get to paradise, they talk about their ages and their jobs, right? And I'm just imagining me being on this show being like, hi, my name is Emily Fan, I'm 20, or they don't say their last names, whatever. Hi, my name is Emily and I'm 26 and I'm a YouTuber. And they usually show this like really sophisticated looking B-roll of them like doing modeling, or, you know, working as a firefighter, or being an accountant, whatever, all of these things, being a tailor. And then cut to my B-roll, and it's me screaming alone in my apartment at no one and playing Roblox as someone in their mid-20s. The next one, the ultimatum. The ultimatum. Let's just get this out of the way. I'm starting the apocalypse myself. I am starting the wait. I just realized that I have not been I've just been freaking talking. I haven't been ranking these on the tier system. Wait, okay. So, I'm going to start the apocalypse myself. The ultimatum. The ultimatum is going, I'm going to start the apocalypse myself. Singles Inferno, I said, guys, I really needed this. Too hot to handle? No. That's delicioso. Get the fuck out of my face. And The Bachelor, did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. Okay, so this is, sorry, I have so many ads. I've gotten comments before where people are like, girl, you need ad blocker. And I'm like, I guess so, but I just don't feel like it. So, these are the rankings so far. I can't believe that this whole time I haven't been doing it. Okay, anyways, the ultimatum. Yeah, I'm calling God directly, and I'm saying we gotta wrap this shit up immediately. Out of all the shows, this would definitely be the one I am least likely to join, right? If you don't know a lot about the show, basically, they take these couples, you know, they've been together for a while, but they're just not aligning on like what, like the future or the timeline of their future, right? Someone wants to get engaged or married, take things to the next step, and then the other person is like, like, I don't know. So one person gives the other an ultimatum, right? And then they end up going on this show. You have all these couples who are in like slight disarray, and then they all trade partners and have a trial marriage with someone else. Basically, at the end of the show, they're supposed to decide whether they want to marry their partner or not after having like had experienced like a trial marriage with someone else. And obviously this makes for great television. No one's arguing that. But I think if I were to be put in the position to be on this show, something very boomer would emerge out of me, right? Whatever happened to good old-fashioned values? Whatever happened to tradition? I think the only way that I would do this is if like, I guess if literally I were like a different person, like if I were someone who was so incredibly desperate for fame, right? That I was just willing to do anything, like so desperate to the point where it's like even a sex tape is on the table. But you know, it would have to be a thing where it's like me and my partner are in cahoots and we both are like, you know, before the cameras start rolling, we look each other in the eye and it's like, remember baby, this is all for show. Everything I do, I'm doing it for us, I'm doing it for you. Okay, we're gonna get married at the end of all of this, right? But we gotta give the people what they want. We gotta get these ratings up. I think about all of the Instagram collagen gummy sponsorships. Think about the Instagram collagen gummy sponsorships that we could get. You know, sort of like, I don't know, strategizing to become fan favorites or something like that, right? But yeah, let me preface this by saying that my actual girlfriend would never ask me to go on this show. So I'm speaking about all of this like hypothetically of like if I had a girlfriend who did ask me to go on the show. The second the person I'm with earnestly suggests that we go on to the ultimatum, my heart is dropping to my ass, falling out of the hole, the sphincter, rolling all the way down the street like that fucking can of ravioli in that Chef Boyardee commercial. And it is going to find the nearest police precinct and, well, the cops are just going to open the door and look down and say, what the fuck is this? Depending on the context, I could handle a ultimatum, right? If it's like, you know, warranted. If my girlfriend was like, babe, honestly, you've been watching too many like Gen Z duo gaming YouTubers and you have not been prioritizing me. So it's either you stay with me or you lessen your screen time. It's like, okay, that is like reasonable, right? And it's also not on the Jumbotron. It's a private conversation, which a lot of people don't like ultimatums. And generally I would say that I'm not a fan of it. I'm not like, oh, hey baby, you know what I think we need in our relationship to spice things up? An ultimatum. You know what I want you to get me for my birthday? I would really like an ultimatum. Like that's just not. But there are some times where like there is a little bit of I don't know, situations where there might be a give and take, right? And I'm all ears for that, right? But going on to the ultimatum, going through the audition process or the casting process, we would have to leave our jobs for a while to be on this. What are you? Let's just break up. Asking me to go on to the ultimatum it's just like, and mind you, we're both supposedly in love with each other. Like these couples supposedly love each other, right? And it's like, you asking me to go on the ultimatum is basically you asking me, hey, do you want to go to a torture chamber for fun? Hey, do you want to inflict harm upon yourself that is not physical and have other people view it too? And mind you, speaking about my actual girlfriend for a second, right? She is so beautiful, stunningly gorgeous, right? That people would be knocking on her fucking door like a vampire at the blood bank. And then I just have to sit there because the whole point of the show is like to allow these things to happen, right? To like be able to let your partner and let yourself, right, cultivate connections with other people to see if this is truly the person you want to be with, right? So I just have to sit there and let her flirt and be flirted with while I'm, you know, she might be off having the time of her life. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the corner, you know, making a shank. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not about to be a cuck in training, okay? Especially televised. And it's like not even like necessarily in like a fun sexual way. It's just like in an emotional way where it's like, I'm hurt. Me watching playback of my supposed girlfriend in a trial marriage with someone else. They are kissing, cuddling, doing God knows what else, right? And I just have to like be okay with that. And then they cut to like a confessional scene of her talking to the camera being like, yeah, no, the sex was really, really good, and I feel like she pleases me in a way that like my current girlfriend doesn't, and yeah, she has qualities that I'm looking for in a wife. And then cut to me, and I'm having qualities that require medical intervention. I am sitting on the ground hyperventilating while my trial wife is like, hi, can you please say something? I'm scared. Obviously, it does happen in some cases where people really develop feelings for their trial marriage partner outside of like their actual partner. Like, if you guys watch the Queer Ultimatum, okay, let me give a little recap of something that happened on the Queer Ultimatum, right? So there's Mal, Yoli, and Xander, right? These three people. Mal and Yoli were together. Xander was, okay, this one's Mal. Mal and Yoli were together, and this is Xander. Xander is with a person named Vanessa, and Vanessa treated Xander like shit, so whatever, disregard Vanessa. Yoli and Xander became trial marriage, right? Trial marriage. Mal did not want to get married to Yoli, so Yoli gave Mal the ultimatum. And the reason why Mal didn't want to get married to Yoli is because, also, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, sorry. They didn't want to get married because they were like, honestly, I feel like you would fall in love with a mannequin if it was in your vicinity long enough. Like, she kind of just felt like, listen, I think that you're saying that you want to marry me, but also you're very susceptible to like falling in love and like thinking you want to get married to people. So I'm questioning like, do you want to get married to me or do you just want to get married and be in love, right? And there is a difference. There is a difference. And then Mal's point kind of got proven because within the 3 weeks, mind you, the trial marriage is only that long that they were with Xander, she was like, I'm in love with Xander. I'm falling in love with Xander. And they're cuddled up on the couch. Xander is, you know, gripping her like something that you grip. And it's like almost a good thing that that happened maybe, because then obviously that tells Mal that like, okay, so I guess like to an extent my predictions were right. But it's like, damn, lesbians are fucking crazy. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that because I'm one of them, right? And I've witnessed it. And I've been the crazy lesbian, right? Falling in love in 3 weeks? You have me completely aghast, girl. Girl, you have me aghast. Because what are you talking about falling in love in 3 weeks while you're also like in love with like someone else, right? You're telling me that you've fallen in love faster than it took for my shoes to be delivered that I ordered from a sketchy Instagram ad. And that's the goddamn truth. You fell in love faster than the process of the menstrual cycle. You met Xander when I was on my period, and you're already in love by my luteal phase, and I haven't even gotten my period again yet. Like, so whatever. In the end, right, Mal proposed to Yoli. And, wait, I'm just gonna Google that I'm pronouncing her name right because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Let's say it all together.
Yoli.
Okay, Yoli. So Mal proposed to Yoli, and Yoli did say yes and was kind of like, you know, happy about it. Happy about it. But at the same time, was still having super, super strong, deep connection with Xander. Maybe for some people who are Polly Pockets, right? Maybe for some people who are Polly Pockets, they would be living for it. They'd be living for it, right? I just proposed to someone and they also are in love with someone else. Gag it. Gag it. I love that, right? For me, though, for someone who is so monogamous that I almost would probably seem too traditional in the queer space, right? In the LGBT, I'm basically a conservative, right? Hey, in the city that I live in, I'm basically a conservative, you know, being monogamous. I ideally would not like for my fiancé to be thinking about someone else, another woman, while I'm proposing to her, right? That's just my opinion. One thing that I do love about the ultimatum is that everyone around them, in terms of like friends and family, are kind of like, girl, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Right? There's this general aura of just like confusion, right? Because during the trial marriage, a lot of the times you have to meet, mind you, I've only watched the Queer Ultimatum. I don't care, or sorry, I was about to say I don't care about the straight people. I care about straight people as a whole. I just didn't really care to watch the straight version. What was I going to say? You take your child, marriage, wife, whatever, to meet your family and your friends and stuff like that. And a lot of the times it's kind of like the family and friends show up and they're like, bitch, who the hell is this? Like, hello, who is this? You know, they're so used to seeing, you know, your partner that you've dated for literally 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden you're showing up to Texas Roadhouse with this stranger. Hello, are you okay? Have you been kidnapped? Like, I'm putting myself in the position of the family, right? I'm imagining if my sister was dating someone for years, and then all of a sudden she just brings around like this new guy and is like, oh, this is my boyfriend, you know, for just, you know, the month. Hermph. I'm literally gonna be like, hermph. And something else that, and listen, I understand that this is literally just a problem with me. And obviously there's a reason that I'm not, you know, going to be on these shows, right? But what gets me sometimes is that they're like, during the trial marriage, they're like, you need to treat this like a real marriage. Like, we're married right now. Like, you can't treat me like this. We're married. No, we're not. Baby, I don't know you. You know, talking about like, I don't like the way that this shelf is arranged, so that we have to compromise because we're married. What? I mean, ultimately, like, you know, they are living together, so you have to compromise on some things just in terms of, like, not even a marriage way, but, like, a roommate way. So, yes, I'm honestly quite monogamous, and who knows, I mean, that could change, but I just don't, for who I am right now, yeah, the ultimatum is going to be ranked at I will start the apocalypse myself. Okay, lastly, Love is Blind. Now, listen, obviously, I do want to rank Love is Blind as, though I am having moments of genuine laughter, comfort, connection, overall, I am constantly, even while smiling, pushing back a feeling of being unlovable and disgusting. But in my heart of hearts, right? In my heart of hearts, I do think that Love is Blind, I am going to rate it. Did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. And let me explain why. First of all, wait, actually, let me explain the show. So basically on the show, you start out in like isolated pods where you're getting to know people, but you can't see them whatsoever. Like, you're only getting to know each other through conversation, which is good. Like, that's how you, like, you know, should get to know people. Also, I'm sorry. I'm becoming conscious of how many times I say like. So I'm going to try and stop. But yes, you know, you start at the show trying to form a deep connection with a person you can't see. Kind of like religion.
You found me all alone. I found myself a blind stone. Irina, you take my blues away. Irina, you take my blues away. I love you forever and ever and ever.
And then, wait, hang on, sorry. I want to read a quote from this article that's like explaining the show. After a reasonable amount of time, 10 days, give or take, the remaining couples still interested in pursuing the experiment get engaged. Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. And then after they get engaged, they go on like a honeymoon. I just said like. They go on a honeymoon, and then they go back to sort of real life where they experience what it would actually be like to, you know, be together and not in this, you know, grandiose, super romantic setting. This happens over a course of 4 weeks, and then at the very end, they decide whether they want to get married or not, right? And this is no hate to these specific people on the show at all, but when straight people say that gay people are ruining the sanctity of marriage, the call is coming from inside the house. Sorry, my camera is about to die, so I had to change the angle. But anyways, we were talking about Love is Blind. Love is Blind. So listen, I think getting to know people on the basis of conversation can be great. Obviously, that's like how you get to know people. But when it comes to relationships, right? I'm not so sure that love is blind for me. I think love can squint, but be completely blind? Listen, for me, right, physical attraction and, you know, sex and all of those things, they are important to me. They're important to most people in a relationship, right? Does that make me a bad person? Okay, I'll embrace that. But, you know, I think most people want to be with someone who is attracted to them too, right? I don't think, most women aren't going to enjoy, if their husband or boyfriend says about them, like, oh no, yeah, like she's ugly as a cow and sex is a chore, but boy, is she kind. You don't want to be like repulsed, right? You don't want to be repulsed, and you don't want to be the cause of any repulsion, right? And this is not to say that, romantic attraction, or sorry, physical attraction can't grow, because it can. Like, there's been times where, the more time I spent with someone that I, wasn't, initially physically attracted to, the more I got to know them, they became attractive to me, right? Which I think that can be a really beautiful thing too, even though, I don't know, some people might find that offensive. Like, yeah, upon first glance, not interested, but once I got to know you a little bit more, I thought maybe I can work with this. But yeah, it's nice to get to know people, especially, on the basis of who they truly are, without any sort of exterior, things that will influence you, like the halo effect and things like that. Yeah, the halo effect, shot dead in the pods, right? Not happening in the pods. It's simply not. So that's cool. But at the same time, at the reveal, if there's not a mutual attraction, of course that's going to be uncomfortable. Of course it is. And it could be not even that I'm not attracted to the person, but that person could also not be attracted to me, right? They could lift those gates and they could see me and think to themselves, go girl, give us nothing, right? Maybe this person's type is like big booty, slim, thick women, and, I'm offering nothing but the slim. Yeah, I could show up with the slim, but nary a thick. And obviously, sometimes on the show, it does come up where people are not attracted to the, people that they felt a connection with in the pods. It probably comes up a lot, of the seasons that I've seen, at least, right? Where it's like, yeah, you're not really someone that I would go for in the outside world. And every time we kiss, my penis kind of retreats into my pelvis like a startled prairie dog. But let's try and make this work. I don't think that this experience would cause me any sort of like immense sadness for me to put it in the Drew Monson category, or not the Drew Monson category, but his quote, put it in the category from his quote, right? So yeah, that's why I'm putting it in. Did everyone try the chicken? I thought the chicken was lovely. I probably wouldn't have the worst time, but I am a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for today. Yeah, just wanted to... I don't even know if a lot of you guys watch dating shows or know a lot of what I'm talking about, but I just thought it would be fun, and I wanted to try something new where it's like yapping with some structure, just sort of like talking to you guys and not having the sketches in this one, because it's not as... I don't know. I feel like in these videos, I show up as a different version of myself almost, because in the more structured videos, it's like, yes, I'm being myself, but also like I have a point. These videos are basically a circle because there is no point. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you guys want more, of these style of videos where it's like me like yapping, but like I'm not just like literally reading random stuff like off my notes app, that it's like all disconjointed and discombobulated. Like there is a central theme. But okay, awesome. I think that's it. I hope you get to hang out with your friends, or hang out with, just to have a happy day and eat a good meal. And until next time.